Hey, this is Mark Henry, here to talk to you more about subjects related to the paranormal and the occult. I am talking to you from the sweltering heat of Louisiana, and I want to wish everyone a very happy and pleasurable Memorial Day weekend. So let's get started. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about Saint Expedite, and I haven't talked about any Catholic saints thus far, but because my channel is about various subjects related to the occult and the paranormal, why not? Let me talk a little bit about Saint Expedite. Saint Expedite is a very interesting character. For one, Saint Expedite is not actually a Catholic saint in a traditional sense. He is not canonized as a saint. He is a folk hero among Catholics. So you can, I guess, consider him a folk saint. And he is often petitioned by Catholics in order to get certain things done. And he, like many Catholic saints, you go to them with a specific issue. I think, what is it, St. Joseph you go to for trying to sell your house. I want to say maybe St. Christopher for safe travels in your car. Well, St. Expedite has his own thing too, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But a little bit about the legend of St. Expedite. The legend goes like this. In New Orleans, at a chapel, Our Lady of Guadalupe, one day there were several saint statues that arrived in boxes. Each were clearly marked with the saint inside. The staff at the chapel, the priests, went and they checked, opened each box to make sure the appropriate statue was in there. And this went on for a few statues until they got to the end. And when they got to the end, they opened it and they found a Roman centurion statue. And they kind of shook their head. They were not sure exactly which saint it was, so they really looked hard at the box. And the only thing they can make out from the box is the word Expedite. So they had a little meeting. They decided that it must be Saint Expedite, which is kind of funny because they interpreted it as the saint and maybe not what it may actually have been, which was a message about priority mail. So what does Saint Expedite do? What is he known for? Saint Expedite is known for any time you need a very quick and forceful spiritual intervention. It doesn't matter what it is. And I'll give you an example about how one might need Saint Expedite. Let's say that you have only half your rent money and there's 2 days left before you have to give it to your landlord. Otherwise, you go down to that long dark corridor of eviction. What do? Well, that's where Saint Expedite comes in. He is somebody to go to whenever you need something almost instantly. So he works very fast. Now, how does one go ahead and approach Saint Expedite? Well, there are various rules to follow, and if you do them, then who knows, maybe he'll help you. The first thing to remember is there are actual physical objects that you can get in order to, just like any type of ritual work, for Saint Expedite. You can get a Saint Expedite statue. If you want to put that on your altar, you can get a little Catholic prayer cards. I don't know if you've seen them with all the different saints on them. There is one for Saint Expedite. There's a picture of them on the back. They have a little prayer. You can also get a candle. There are Saint Expedite candles. They're usually red, and they have him on there and a little prayer on the side of the candle. So you light that, put all those things on your altar, and then use that as kind of your petition and say what you want from Saint Expedite. Another thing, a kind of a rule of thumb, is only request one thing at a time. And that makes a lot of sense. I think it's good for any type of work that you're dealing with, any type of uh, spiritual figure, God, goddess. You know, you want to be focused on one thing, make one thing a priority, and then later on you can work on something else. But St. Expedite seems to respond more to one thing at a time. Another thing is, don't ask him to do harm. He's a saint. He still is bound by the rules of that legend and that myth. So I've heard reports of people asking St. Expedite to do them harm, and then he returns it back to them. So, what else? With St. Expedite, if you feel the need to negotiate, you say, St. Expedite, if you help me, I will, once I get my money, I will give maybe $5, $10 to local charity, or give it to someone as kind of a reciprocity type of thing. Now, that's not always necessary, but if you feel like that you need to do that and that would grease the wheels, feel free to do that. Another thing is that after you make your petition to St. Expedite, and let's say that everything goes perfect and you get exactly what you want, give him a reward. St. Expedite has a reputation for liking sweets, specifically pound cake. In New Orleans, they give him Sara Lee pound cake. And if you don't have pound cake, give him something else. Give him a cupcake or anything that is sweet. That is also a kind of a part of any type of ritual work with spiritual figures. Is that offering something like a something that they like, basically. Another thing is he likes notoriety. He likes to have people spread the word. So once you get what you desired from St. Expedite, feel free to tell other people. In New Orleans, there's this thing where in the last few decades, when people have gotten positive results from St. Expedite, they actually put a classified ad in the newspaper thanking St. Expedite. And everybody sees the newspaper when we actually had really good circulation for print newspaper. And that helped develop the relationship. All of these different things that I'm talking about helps you develop a relationship with St. Expedite, and over time and working, he may even do more for you. But it's all about relationships and devotion and loyalty and all those types of things. Now, what has happened as a result of St. Expedite's work? Well, I can tell you I have a priest friend who has used St. Expedite in the past, and he swears by him. Also, my oldest sister has had very positive results with St. Expedite. I gave her information on him and even some ritual paraphernalia for Christmas, and she's been working with him. She is in art in school, so she has been taking classes in mathematics and things like that, which is not her strong suit. But amazingly, with St. Expedite's help and her actually working with him, she's done extremely well, better than she imagined. And she told me during our last conversation that she doesn't understand how she got a B in her math class because she completely walked out of the exam. So that's power. And, you know, as a student, as I look back as a student, sometimes you get behind your work, you got life going on, and you can't study as much as you want to, and here you go, you have a test. So any extra help you can get, you take. Okay, that's all I wanted to share with you for today. Please subscribe and like. Also, in case you weren't aware, I wrote a book a few years ago called Dancing with Energy, Healing, Magic, and Mysticism. It talks a little bit about energy work and the paranormal and the occult and its relationship to each other. So if you are interested in that, you can get that on Amazon. So you can see that, Dancing with Energy. All right, see you later, and I will see you next week for another topic. Thanks.